As for the third and final segment of this episode, we're going to be talking about Jameis Winston. Where will he end up? I thought Jameis Winston was going to get taken by a team right away. And I said this in my, episode 7 of the Min Effect. I was talking about where I think free agent quarterbacks will end up, what will happen with them. And I said Jameis Winston was going to get taken by the Steelers pretty quick. And because I know Jameis Winston knows as much as everyone else, he's not going to be a starter. I mean, no team's going to take him as a starter. He's young. He has a lot of development to go. And I think he will get taken by a team like the Steelers or Detroit Lions. I was talking about this in the Cam Newton episode, but I think Steelers just makes more sense. I talked about this in my episode 7, and I don't know why the Steelers have not taken Jameis Winston already. Is Jameis Winston wanting a lot more money? Is he chasing money and not an actual career? I don't know. So why I said this. So Jameis Winston, the 26-year-old quarterback, first overall pick in the 2015 draft. Didn't live up to that even close. I mean, last season went 30 for 30, 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. It might have been a little 30 and some odd number after that, but whatever. He was the first quarterback to ever throw for 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. So what that means is that he's very inconsistent, and really that's workable. I mean, inconsistency is probably the most worked thing. Quarterbacks can really develop on that and then become more consistent. So if he's with a team like the Steelers, who have a great coaching staff, and the Steelers don't have that great of a offense, they're kind of in a rebuilding stage. They have great tight ends with I think they got Eric Ebron. I think they grabbed Eric Ebron, and they have what's his name? Vance McDonald. So they have great tight ends. Their wide receivers, I think Juju's a 2 receiver. I don't really like him as a number 1 receiver. So they definitely have a lot of improvement to go on offense. Defense, they're great on. They have a great defense, so that lays pressure off of Jameis Winston's back. Now, Ben Roethlisberger will still be a starting quarterback next season, but Ben Roethlisberger, very injury prone. He can go out pretty soon, and Jameis Winston would be a great backup under Ben Roethlisberger. And Ben Roethlisberger is reaching the end of his career. He's showing a lot of decline these last couple of years. You look at the quarterbacks that were taken in that draft. Philip Rivers showed a lot of decline this last season. Eli Manning just retired after a 3-year decline. So you look at those quarterbacks, and they're really falling off. Ben Roethlisberger is too, but no one's really talking about it because he's always injured. So Ben Roethlisberger will probably, if he shows a lot of decline, which I think he will this next season, come in and take his job basically. And I think Ben Roethlisberger should retire, and I think it's very likely. There's that picture. He looks like someone from Duck Dynasty. There's that picture he was showing, because I haven't seen him in so long. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger, I haven't seen him play in probably 2 years. I didn't see him play this last season. So very injury prone, like I said. And their backups, Mason Rudolph came in, looked horrible. They grabbed this Duck Hodges. What's his real name? I don't even remember his real name. Devlin Hodges. People just called him Duck Hodges because he won that Duck championship. Yeah, horrible too. You don't want those two people playing any role in your offense. And yeah, whatever. You don't want Mason Rudolph to come back. I wouldn't have him come back. I don't think the team likes that guy either. And Devlin Hodges, you just keep him because the team loves him for whatever reason, because he's this Duck guy, but he's not very good. You don't want to do your backup. Have Jameis Winston be your backup and possibly take Ben Roethlisberger's starting role. Also, I didn't touch into why the 30 for 30 is so bad for Jameis Winston. It's so now obviously he doesn't have that great offensive line help, but if you throw 30 for 30 and you're throwing to Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, OJ Howard, and Brashad Perriman, that's awful. He didn't have a running back. He didn't really have offensive line help, which he would have with the Steelers' better offensive line, although still could improve on offensive line. James Conner is the running back. Not even close to as good as a receiving core, though, so he's not throwing to the same amount of people. But like I said, inconsistency is very trainable, very workable, and the Steelers, I think this would be a great pick. This is what I said in my 7th episode, and I'm still sticking with it. I don't know why the Steelers haven't taken him yet. And this Steelers offense is very young and just rebuilding. They're constantly rebuilding. Now, Juju, like I said, I think he's a 2 receiver. I don't like him as a 1 receiver. James Conner, you can still use him as running back. Aside from that, they're in a full rebuild mode. Oh, tight ends. I mean, they have the Eric Ebron and Vance McDonald, but okay. Anyways, their defense is really good. Offense, young. Jameis Winston is young. You can really rebuild around him, give him a lot more weapons, a lot more protection, and the Steelers could be back in the conversation. I mean, they have a good enough coaching staff where they can come back and rebuild really fast, and they're not in a very tough division. I mean, they're in a division with the Bengals, Browns, and Okay, and Ravens, but Ravens still are kind of falling out. No, this next season, the Ravens are still going to go hard. So Browns and Bengals, they're in a pretty easy division. I mean, they could come out of this and they could win this next year's division easy. So let me know what y'all think. What do you agree with this? I mean, I think it makes too much sense. Where do you think Jameis Winston will go? I think him going to the Steelers just makes so much sense to me. The Steelers, I think, would need this guy because of Ben is so injury prone, because their offense is so young and really need to rebuild. And their coaching staff is great, and their coaching staff can turn them from a 30-30 quarterback to a lot better. Inconsistency is workable. So let me know what y'all think. Would this be a great hire by the Steelers? If not, where do you think the Steelers, or no, where do you think he will go? What team do you think should take him? Do you think he'll be a starter next year? I don't think so. I think he will be a backup wherever he goes. Whether it's the Steelers, which I think makes the most sense to me, or whether it's wherever you think. Let me know what y'all think. Feedback, questions, anything. While you go down there, leave your comments. While you go down there to leave your comments, click that like button. And as always, till next time.